Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kastuba. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Come on!
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center, New York, Stuba Das. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam. Welcome. It's Thursday's study and immersion and joy in expressing the Srimad Bhagavatam in 2023. That's what we're doing. We're carrying on the message of the Bhagavatam. It's been given, this isn't 5,000 years old. This is an message of truth.
Okay.
I'm a preacher, Kastuba. I've accepted.
You're a
Look at this whole phase
preacher.
where, like, I don't preach, I share. We're building a bridge. We share this. We spread the, right? No, I'm a preacher. I'm a preacher of Sanatana Dharma and Krishna Bhakti. That's what I am, a preacher. And I say God now. I say God all the time. I love God. I'm okay with that. I don't say, well, the universe, your higher power, your source.
You do that all the
No.
time. You use terms
God.
like source,
I
divine.
believe in God, and I'm okay with it.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying I'm switching it over. I'm switching it.
All
I
right.
believe in God. God's back in style. God is the new black.
Okay.
How are you?
God has always been black, actually.
Yes. Yes. God is Sham. Oh, Krishna.
I'm doing good, Raghu.
I love being a devotee of Krishna. I had the most nice morning program this morning.
Oh,
I
that's
truthfully
nice.
love these 8 o'clock things because I get my whole
But
morning.
we're switching it tomorrow, though.
Yeah, that said, we're going to do a 6 a.m. show tomorrow. Sorry.
And next week,
And
right?
next week also, yeah.
Ah! Oh, Krishna. Okay.
Okay.
You know you're getting serious about Krishna consciousness when you start saying, "Oh my Krishna," or "Oh Krishna," like that's your like exhale of exhaustion. Oh,
Your
Krishna.
default.
Yeah, that's your default thing. When you start saying Harry Bowl to like the guy at the gas station, okay, Harry Bowl.
It happens.
What? I always say Harry Bowl to people that don't know what Harry Bowl is by mistake. I always like, okay, see you later, Harry Bowl. And I call everybody Prabhu by mistake also. Okay, Prabhu, bye-bye.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
good.
Like, yeah, I don't know if it's good or if they think I'm nuts. Anyway, how are you?
Good. I'm good.
How are you, Mara?
Good.
I'm getting very, very excited
Let's
for our
check in with Mary. Yeah, he's a little excitable. Did
Yeah, he is.
he have
a little
extra
nuts
sugar
today.
this morning or something? What's
I-
going on, Mary?
No, I didn't have anything.
We're counting on you.
No.
No calories in here.
All right. Announcements. So our show is at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Okay.
Today we've got Bhakti Recovery Group meetings at 9 a.m. and noon.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. is the Cult of Cain, our asana class with Josh Kane for Patreon members.
Okay. And the sage groups, like they're really filling up. Like so many of them have closed now
Oh,
because
really?
they're just booked. Now's the time to get in the group that you want. Don't hesitate. Don't procrastinate. Right? Head on over to Wisdom of the Sages and then click on Sage Groups and find what groups are still open and get in one because you're going to be glad you did, right, Raghu?
Yep. We had Sweet Baby Krishna last night.
Man, I cue you up. Are we working together here or not? Were you even listening to what I said?
Yeah.
Did you even hear me mention your name?
Yeah. You got to get the sage groups. This guy, sage groups.
That's the way you work together, Raghunath. I say something when I turn to you, then you kind of respond to it, rather than just go off.
Very important.
Yeah. But let me tell us about your Sweet Baby Krishna last night.
Well, all I'm saying is it's a sweet way to wind down. Are we doing it today? We left on a cliffhanger, Kostuba.
Oh.
No, we've got Tarun tonight.
You know, I think Tarun should sit through it.
Okay.
Let's say.
Do you want to do it at 7:30?
7:30.
7:30 tonight.
Getting back late from.
I might tune in because 8
Wait,
o'clock I'm
no,
winding down.
Tomorrow's parkour day.
Oh yeah, okay. 7:30 tonight. We got a cliffhanger, and yesterday there was a little religious event in our story called the Rajasuya sacrifice.
Oh yeah.
And everybody was happy. It was festive. There was enjoyment. Great sages came. Even the higher beings from higher planets came.
Everything was auspicious, really auspicious.
Everything was so auspicious. But there was one person who was not happy about what was going on there. Actually, there was two.
Shishupala was one.
Shishupala and Duryodhana.
Oh,
Shishupala and Duryodhana was furious because so much people were coming and giving charity to Yudhisthira, and Yudhisthira was giving freely charity. And then he had some blessing that the more charity he gave, the more he would get in return. And Duryodhana got more.
Duryodhana was jealous of Yudhishthira, and Shishupala was jealous of Krishna.
He did not like Krishna whatsoever, and they were related too. Did you know that?
Yeah, cousins or something.
Yeah, they were related, and he was furious. He was furious that Krishna. See, this is the interesting thing about Krishna, and it's a good message for everybody out there. If you don't get Krishna, if you don't like Krishna, you just try to assess who this guy is. Who is this guy? He's like a cowherd boy. What is a cowherd boy? He's like a shepherd. What is a cowherd boy? He's like a farmer. Why am I going to worship some farm boy? But if you understand who Krishna is, you're like, he's divine. He's so sweet. He's adorable. Krishna was washing the feet of the guests.
Yeah.
How beautiful is that? Here he is, Bhagavan, the Lord of all lords, the Lord of all demigods, and he's washing the feet of the guests.
Everybody had, like, the Pandavas, they all broke it up into, everyone had different responsibilities, right?
Yes.
For this big event.
Yeah.
Like some people were in charge of taking care of the elders. Like that was their mission, right? Older people, make sure they got a good seat, make sure they're comfortable, they got everything they need. Who was that? Was that Nakula or something like that?
In charge of the cooking was Bhima.
Yeah,
he was in charge of the cooking because he is a connoisseur of fine food. He was chief caterer. Yeah, he's the number one caterer. Mara,
he's the number one caterer in all the three worlds.
If he comes to Columbia County, look out, Mara.
Watch out, Mara. You're gonna get bumped. And then Duryodhana was actually in charge of the treasury, so he had this idea: I'm going to give more away, to empty the coffers of Yudhisthira. But Yudhisthira had this blessing: the more he gave away, the more he would get.
Oh, so we're
Duryodhana got so frustrated. And anyway, so Duryodhana was not happy because, first of all, why is Yudhisthira in this city in the first place? Because they sort of like said, okay, Yudhisthira, we're gonna give you half the kingdom. And what did they give him? They gave him like Reno, Nevada. We're gonna stay here. Not even what's one of those cities?
Just somewhere out there in the middle of nowhere, Nevada, like a Death Valley out there.
Like Death Valley. But as soon as Yudhisthira comes, as soon as the devotees come, isn't this true? Everything becomes auspicious. Then Indra came and started pouring rain. Higher beings came. They built Maya Danava came, built this incredible palace for Yudhisthira, and everybody wanted to come. Let's check out this new city. And it became incredible and making Duryodhana even more angry. Sherry Yannick seems to like Reno.
The Rajasuya sacrifice, it's what really broke Duryodhana in a sense, wasn't it? It's what, like, just from that point, it was that event and the related event of, or I guess kind of related. The Rajasuya sacrifice was just like Yudhisthira just surpassed him in every way. right?
Yeah.
Yudhishthira just showed I'm the quality. Not that he was intending to overshine him, but he just naturally did.
Yeah.
That all the devas are coming, everybody's coming. He's accomplishing what a ruler's meant to accomplish. He's caring for everyone. He's being recognized. It was eating Duryodhana up like crazy. And then there was that event where they had this special mystical palace that Mayadanava created for them, because Krishna and Arjuna back to back stood up and fought the devas and protected the forest so that Agni could devour it.
Yeah, it's a weird passage for
Kind
most
of a
people to
forest.
hear. It's like,
Yeah.
wait a second, we're supporting forest fires here?
In this case,
Yes, we
yes.
are. In this case, we were supporting forest fires.
Yeah. And so then they had this mystical palace created by Mayadanava that it was designed such a way that
It's so good.
it's crazy that like sometimes you do even like we go into places like, oh my God, that floor looks like it's like water or something like that.
I
You know,
know.
it's like really shiny.
If you hated, this is the
Yeah.
this
But
was the
yes, tied to your
special
mood.
magic.
Yeah.
If you hated the owner of the palace, everything would appear as illusion.
Yeah.
So when Duryodhana came to this palace, it looked like there was like a beautiful patio, but it would be but for everybody else who loved Yudhishthira, they would see Duryodhana just walk into a lake.
Yeah. A
Right.
pool
Or there was
something,
one
yeah.
point where there was actually a patio, and to Duryodhana, it appeared as if it was a lake with a very tiny, thin walkway. So he was cutting he was
Like a total
walking in a
fool.
funny way, like on a tightrope. So everyone watching, including all the queens and the ladies of the palace, they were looking at Duryodhana,
Makes
almost
it
like
hurt more.
dancing around, laughing. And then all of a sudden, a door appeared. There was a door, and it didn't appear like a door, and he walked into the door. Everybody was laughing at him. Even Krishna was laughing.
And then Yudhishthira
Yudhishthira
said,
"Oh, don't laugh. He's our
let's not
cousin."
laugh at him. Yeah.
Yudhishthira's so kind.
He is so good. Duryodhana had done him wrong in so many ways, and still he wouldn't allow everyone to laugh at Duryodhana. So Yudhishthira's like, oh, don't laugh. But then Krishna gave the signal. No, laugh, everybody laugh. And once Krishna says it's okay, like everybody's like, because Krishna, he wanted to instigate the conflict, you know. And so yeah, after that, he was just, that's when the dice match thing came up, you know. Let's get him somehow or other. We got to get him.
Let's take this city from them.
Whatever
Anyway, that
time.
was that. And then so today we're talking about Shishupal. Don't be a spoiler, because Shishupal is so unhappy. He's gonna call out Yudhishthira. He's gonna call out Sahadev.
Why?
He's gonna call out Krishna.
What was the incident that?
In the middle of it's almost like some guy coming to your wedding.
Why was he
does
upset?
anybody here? What do they say? Does anybody here object to this wedding? And some guy standing up, I object. That's what it was like.
But specifically, what was he objecting to?
The first worshiping Krishna first.
So at an
Before you
event
start
like
the
this,
ceremony.
yeah, at an event like this, the idea is to do this right. We want to honor the person amongst us that we feel embodies the best character, and so on. And so Yudhishthira chose, well, amongst us all, Krishna. Krishna's the best. Let's honor him. So he honored Krishna, and Shishupal was very upset about this choice.
Yeah, and Sahadev gave a great report why it should be Krishna, and then grandfather Bhishma said, of course it should be Bhishma. He's like,
Krishna.
Krishna. Yeah. So we left right off there. It's a cliffhanger.
Okay.
I told the story of Jarasandha as well. It was.
Oh man, I should have tuned in. I was falling asleep at that point. Maybe tonight I'll tune in. It's a little early.
No, it's so nice. And you know what we did after? You know what I did after that?
Tell me.
There is one band out there that is the best band of all time.
Encroachment. There's got to be a band called
not a hardcore band.
Okay.
X Encroachment X. It's not that.
David Charles Wilson. He's smiling.
It is Madhava's rock band. Madhava's rock band. They
Yeah,
made like a
sure.
mini movie. Mara, can you find it on my history? Which one it was? It is so good. I watched I blew it up on my big screen and watched like 5 Madhava's rock band videos. They are so good.
Okay.
And they are just like full on card carrying Hare Krishnas who get millions of views. And they did this like mini drama. You know, when bands in the old days would make like a mini drama movie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They did one of these.
Okay.
Where he played the role of a businessman. They're going in a limo, and his wife played the role of like sort of like one of his employees.
He's got like a cigar in his mouth or something back
No,
there.
he's dressed like in a suit. Harry Krishna, he's not.
Well, he's playing a role, Rogan.
He played a role, but he plays a role like his mother's in Vrindavan. She calls him on the phone, and they're talking, and then
she's like, "Why are you just doing business? Like, you should be in Vrindavan."
She's like, "What is Vrindavan?" He's like, "You never been to Vrindavan? Let me take you there." And he goes, "Driver, turn it around." It's such a good movie.
Okay,
it's like a mini movie. We're gonna post the link right now. Gotta put it in the bio. I love these people. I love them both.
Okay, Raghunath, we got to keep this thing moving, though. I appreciate all of that.
Okay, well, I think it's important to give people
and we gave you time for that. We gave ample time for that.
This is a special gift for everyone out there. Mara, can you put this in the show notes? Their link also.
Sure. She's on it, Raghunath. She's working on it. Okay. Calm down. Take a deep breath.
You don't tell me to take a deep breath. You take.
I tell you.
All right.
Telling you to take a deep breath. That's a good thing. That's what yoga teachers do. Take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath. Okay. All right.
All right. Why don't we get into the nugget? You know who this is from, Raghunath?
No. Oh, Rabindranath Tagore. Who was
Rabindranath
he?
Tagore?
He was a politician in Calcutta?
No, he wasn't a politician. He was an Indian poet, a writer, a playwright, a composer, a philosopher, a social reformer, as well as a painter. And he was the first Indian to win the Nobel Prize for Literature.
All right. Alrighty.
He's a Bengali. He's from that same era as Bhaktivinoda Tagore and all of them. Yeah. I think they even knew each other.
Yeah, I think they knew each other. All right, here it is, sir.
Tell me.
Great calm, generous detachment, selfless love, disinterested effort. These are what make for success in life. If you can find peace in yourself and can spread comfort around you, you'll be happier than an empress.
Empress?
There's probably a lot of very distressed empresses if you actually analyze it. I wouldn't even use the word empress. It makes it sound like an empress has whatever she wants. You know what? I think there's a lot of anxiety in being an empress.
Okay, but let's not get too caught up.
I've analyzed.
Let's not go. The point is, he's saying you'll be very happy. That's the point.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, if you were an empress, imagine if your kingdom was taken over, you'd be kidnapped, or you'd be held, or you'd be made to be in a harem.
Okay,
plus,
let's
you
not
could
go
be very
there,
depressed.
though. The point was he was just saying that this is the way to happiness.
Yes. Okay.
Let's take a look at it again.
Great calm, generous detachment.
These are all things that are, from all the yoga. Great calm. I suppose we translated that as prashanta, maybe.
It's all out of the Bhagavad Gita, truthfully.
Yeah, prashanta. Generous detachment, vairagya. Selfless love. Right. I suppose you call that prema, right?
Disinterested effort. This is like being detached from the fruits of work.
That's nishkama karma.
Nishkama karma.
Work, karma, that's nishkama, without desire.
I know. I just like saying that phrase. Nishkama karma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. So there's a lot to this, right? Even right there, you're right. That's all Bhagavad Gita stuff, right?
Mm.
But this isn't the formula that most people give to find happiness. Like, this isn't what you and I were taught when we were growing up. Like, hey, if you want to be happy in life.
No. We're selling fun. We're selling fun in 2023.
Yeah.
You want to be fun? It's all pleasure in mode of passion and ignorance, isn't it? Yeah. It's our idea of happiness is hope. I will enjoy when I get to here. I'm going to make this much and I will enjoy this. We're going to go Kelly Skinner. We're going to go skiing and it's going to be great. I'm going to rent a cabin up at Stowe. And then I'm going to get new skis this year. It's just like we live in a world of hope. I'm not saying skiing's not fun, but things like that. It's like the time you spend actually going down that damn hill is very short compared to all the other stuff in your mind that's building up to it. We live in the mind and our enjoyment is in the mind.
Costs a lot of money to go skiing.
Oh my God. Lift tickets are ridiculous.
And then the skis and the boots and all the clothes and
the kids grow out of them.
You got to rent like a lodge or something like that.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, you got to spend a ton of money just to go down that hill.
But you wouldn't even guess. Guess how much a lift ticket is this year.
That means a ticket that you can go up to the top of the mountain all day.
Yes.
$25.
Not even close.
You're adorable,
Ignorant,
Kostuba.
naive.
$130.
$130. That's insane. And you got to buy that for your whole family.
I know, it's ridiculous. Anyway, let's not
Oh, Kelly Skinner saying a season pass makes it doable. Okay.
In defense of Maya, I'm Kelly Skinner in the bright light.
Okay, but here's the point, Raghunath, and I think you're onto something here. We weren't these characteristics. They might have even been expressed as like honorable or respectable.
Right.
But it wasn't like, if you want to be happy, you need to find this. Otherwise, you're never really going to be happy. You know, you need to learn to work in this world with detachment. You need to, all those desires that you have, it's not by fulfilling them, it's actually by letting them go that you become happy. We were never ever told this kind of stuff, you know. And then he gets to something we're gonna in the second sentence, which I think is also very interesting, particularly in more modern times, not going back to when you and I were growing up, but to like really right now. He speaks that if we want to help those around us, that if you can find peace in yourself and you can spread comfort around you, you will be happier than an empress. And let's not get caught up in the empress thing again. But
that's something to explore also.
We can do that another time. We can really dig into our empress is happy.
Yeah, the idea is if we can just find some peace in this world. So many people will try to like follow that lead, like, oh, how are they doing it? How are they calm in the midst of all of this? How are they seem contained, they seem controlled, they seem thoughtful, they seem deep. We want to become like that, not just for ourselves, but yes, ourselves, but for other people. We want to like live that exemplary life. I don't just want to teach it. I don't want to be a teacher. I want to be a liver. Not a liver, but
you want to be a liver. How about a kidney?
I want to be one who lives that life. And when you live it, then you can
give it.
You can give it.
You see, Raghunath, I responded to what you put out there. You see, you like put out there, and I caught up on the cue, and then I responded to it. See, I'm working with you.
Good. Okay, now I'm learning how to be in this partnership.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know another thing.
You don't understand, people. Me and Kostu would talk this on the phone. We just get on the phone and just have these same banters are going on.
But another thing,
it doesn't end when the show ends.
I have a feeling they do understand it, actually.
Yeah.
We've been fighting like this since we knew each other.
Yeah. This isn't rehearsed. I think they know that. So yeah, but just one last thing I was going to mention about this. So great calm, generous detachment, selfless love, disinterested effort.
That sounds bad, doesn't it? Disinterested effort.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right to us, but we need to. What disinterested means that there's no selfish motivation. It means
disinterested in the fruits, but there is effort. Disinterested
selfless.
effort.
We would say selfless.
Trying.
We would say selfless effort, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or unmotivated service.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or we would say, what's the word? Unconditional.
Unconditional. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's saying there's another way to look at life if you actually want to be happy. We got it. It's counterintuitive to the way that we've been trained up, but we need to examine our life, and we need to examine the lives of those around us. We're born into this world. Don't just run with the current. Step back a second, right? Take a deep breath, right? Take a deep breath, and examine, what am I here for? This is essential, and this is what Narada did with the sons of Daksha, the Haryashvas. He said, okay, it's great that you guys are doing much better than most people. You've gone to this holy place, this lake where all the sadhus hang out. You started practicing austerities so that you could serve the world better. And that's all great. But there's something even more than that, and that is divine love, that God is within your heart. Don't just be good in this world, but achieve the highest state, of divine love. You can do that. It's within you. Examine your life. look at it. And then he spoke this allegory where he talked of 10 different things. There's a prostitute, and there's a hole, and there's a spinning thing with razor blades, and there's all these things going on. They figured the whole thing out, and they understood what each thing. It was an encouragement for them to examine more deeply life. And this may be a spoiler, but they said, "You're right. You're right. We're going to change our path."
Yeah,
we can all do that. Every one of us can and probably should. Just say, you know what? I'm ready to change my life to make the most of it. Are we ready to do that? Are people ready to do that, Rabindranath? I'm willing to change my life to make the most of it.
Yeah. The great news is you can do it right now.
You can do it right now.
You can do it right now.
I'm saying most people aren't, though. I think most people are like, well, that would be great, but I can't change my life. No, you can change your life. Even doing the same job and living with the same fit, you can still change it. You can adjust it. You can adjust your attitude, and that changes everything.
I like that.
Okay.
Knit that into your scarf. You change your attitude, and that changes everything.
Okay.
Kastubadas.
Mara's on it. Okay.
One day we'll be quoting. There'll be the nuggets. 100 years from now. Be the nugget. This is from Kastubadas. He was a podcast host, a senior educator at the Bhakti Center.
They're different. When I search for a nugget, sometimes I just run into nuggets.
You were like a minor 49er.
Sometimes
searching for nuggets.
Sometimes I just run into nuggets, but other times I search for a nugget that is suitable for the topic of the day. And often to do that, I go to these quote websites,
Oh, okay.
And some of the quote websites are more like classic quotes, like Plato and Shakespeare, right, and that kind of stuff. Some of them are very modern, like they're just modern authors.
Yeah.
And some of them are in between. And on the modern author ones and on the in between ones, sometimes I'm reading along and it's like, this one's from Mark Twain, right? And then you got one from Helen Keller, right? And then you got one Radhanath Swami. Really? Yeah, I get that.
Radhanath Swami's made it to the. All right, that's great.
Yeah. So he's up there.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, you ready?
Sir. Yeah.
Set it off.
Oops.
I thought you were ready. You're looking all confused.
My phone rang. My phone rang. Okay.
Hit it. Narayanam
namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tojayamudirayat. Before we start in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Gyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Midatamnena Tasmaye Sri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam.
But Rabindranath, just for a second, I want a squirrel.
Ooh.
What?
I couldn't help it.
This is like, okay.
Well, I was just
opposite day.
It was just very interesting that you mentioned that this house. I know, because I never really thought about it. I always just thought about the story, but I didn't really think about maybe there's more meaning behind the story.
What story?
The house, the palace that Yudhishthira had.
You were thinking of other things than listening to my prayers?
It came to me.
That is not pure devotional service. And saying the prayers, got to think of the prayers. Can't be thinking of other things during the prayers.
It came up. It just arose in me. It could have been the super soul.
Your distraction could have been the super soul. Yeah. Okay, go on.
So you were saying that if you didn't love Yudhishthira, then when you walked into that house, you were confused. It
would appear as illusion, yeah.
You would be in illusion. And I was thinking, isn't that what this universe is? That if we the universe is Krishna's house, right? It's all his property. We didn't create any of it.
Yeah. And to the degree that you're envious of the possessor, very good, very good. Then the whole world appears as illusion. Wow, that's the greater analogy of the story, Kaustubha.
It came to me, Raghunath.
That is incredible. I love that. I love that squirrel.
Bring that back to Sweet Baby Krishna tonight. Bring that back.
Okay.
All right, let's go now.
The Kaustubha Basya. The commentary.
Kaustubha commentary.
Text 15.
There are commentaries that have Kaustubha in the name.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because it's like the gem commentary, you know. That.
Narada Muni had also spoken of a man who is the husband of the prostitute.
Oh, yeah.
The Haryasvas understood this as follows. So here the Haryasvas. If one becomes the husband of a prostitute, he loses.
You know what I think about this, Raghunath?
What?
Because we were saying yesterday, like, this is a trigger warning. And nowadays, if we talk about prostitutes,
yeah,
we begin to think like, well, maybe she's in that position because of a certain reason. Maybe she's the victim in this. Here, the prostitute is being made out as like the bad person, right?
Right.
And I get that. But I think essentially it might help us not lose focus and get us right on the point. If instead of saying a prostitute, we said, like, say, a partner that was unfaithful.
Okay. Or you could switch it and just say the male prostitute.
Well, even then, it would be the same. Then, no, you know, male prostitutes become prostitutes also under difficult circumstances, right?
Okay.
So
say the unfaithful. We're gonna change the Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
To fit people's triggers. Okay.
You see, because like yesterday,
get any pushback for that?
Yesterday we were reading about this, and the point was that a prostitute, they may have good qualities.
Well, especially when you study Vedic books, you find like great devotees who are prostitutes.
But that's not the point. You keep diverting.
We're not endorsing prostitution.
No, there's a prostitute may be very beautiful.
Okay.
But she's all over the place. You'll never be able to have that connection that you're desiring. She's going to cause you misery if you become attached to her. Okay. And so here, in this analogy, it's the intelligence that is the prostitute. We want it to be faithful to us. Our intelligence should be serving us, right? But
let's just talk about what it's talking about.
Yeah.
That way we don't even have to use the analogy. Let's just saying about the intelligence is the prostitute. I mean, it's going everywhere.
It's going everywhere. It's when we'll go. So with that, let's start with that, and you go ahead and read this verse, and then we'll get back into it.
Okay. Similarly, if a living
start it over. Why don't you start it over?
If one becomes the husband of a prostitute, he loses all independence.
Okay.
Similarly, if a living entity has a polluted intelligence, he prolongs his materialistic life, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Life's going to go on forever. It's not. It's not. It's like I'm in my 50s. Just a little stone.
You're at the end of your late 50s.
I'm in my late 50s. That's a stone's throw from 60s. And it's just like a little bit longer throw to death. If I'm lucky.
Maybe not.
But my point is, I can dress young. You know what I mean? I can
like the skinny
young.
jeans.
I can wear skinny jeans. Whatever it is, you can't face the fact that people 50 years ago, they looked older. You know what everybody does now? Everybody shaves. Every man who's balding shaves their head. No one has male pattern. Huh?
It's a good move.
It's a good move, but I'm just saying, when they have that male pattern balding, you're like, that guy's old. It just went right to he's old. Now we can sort of like fool the world. We're old.
I don't know if everybody's fooled, Raghunath. I don't know if anybody's fooled.
Anyway, my point being is, the way the material world works is you never think, well, I'm not old. That guy who's 60 is old. The guy who's 60 is thinking, that guy at 70, that's old. And then the guy who's 70 is like, well, the new 70 is like, 70 is not like the way it used to be. Yes, it is. It's still old. I'm not, and people say, well, I'm in my midlife. You're not in your midlife. People die when they're 65 or 70. 35 is midlife. 50 is not midlife. We got to stop tricking ourselves that this body and this lifetime is eternal. Life is eternal, but it's time to zip up our material life and get focused on our spiritual life.
Zip it up, Mara, right there.
Zip it up. Mara, write that down. Zip it up.
Okay, we're going to start this verse again.
Sorry.
Narada Muni had spoken of a man who is the husband of a prostitute, or let's say a disloyal cheater, a cheater.
Similarly, if a living entity has polluted intelligence, he prolongs his materialistic life.
Okay.
That is what everybody's doing.
Continue.
Frustrated by material nature, right? I'm
Yeah.
frustrated. I feel it. Frustrated by material nature. His head must.
You're out of control today.
You must follow the movements of the intelligence, which brings various conditions of happiness and distress.
Follow them like, in other words, they're dragging you around. Your intelligence, this reasoning faculty of yours,
polluted intelligence.
Polluted. It's dragging you around.
If one, can I share something humiliating? If one performs fruitive activities under such conditions, what will be the benefit?
Kimasat Karma Beer Buffet. As long as it's not the Calcutta bookstore.
No,
book fair story.
No, this is. We're frustrated about material nature. We follow the movements of a polluted intelligence. We try to prolong materialistic life. I think a big part of me shaving my beard and growing the beard is the fact that as I'm getting older, my head is taking up different shapes and forms and weight. And it's frustrating looking at my head in the mirror. This sounds humiliating, but this is what happens as we grow old.
Why are you talking about this?
Because this is everything is talking about in this world.
I'm not sure, but
frustrated by material nature.
Yeah,
we want to prolong material existence.
And you know why? Because your intelligence.
We try to look younger. We try to look.
Because your intelligence, your reasoning faculty has you convinced that I need to look younger.
I need to look younger. I'm not old. I'm young, and I get it. We want to be healthy looking, also. But if we're trying to create an appearance of young, when in fact we have to accept, like, you know what, this material life is short, and I got to get serious about my spiritual existence.
That's great.
That's all I want to say.
Okay, no, that's great, Rabindranath. And let's talk about the buddhi, right? The intellect or the intelligence that these yogic texts, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and so many others, they'll speak about. The mind has these three functions. If the mind's a computer, you could say it has three different apps that perform different functions, right? One of them is the impulsive mind. It's just reacting. It's programmed to. It's called the manas. It's programmed to like and dislike different things.
Yeah.
And then there's the sense of identity, the ego, or you can say the false ego. This idea of I am. It roots our identity to the body. Generally, I am this body. I'm a man. I'm a woman. I'm American. I'm European. I'm South American. I'm whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's this third faculty called the buddhi, the intellect. It's essential that this reasoning faculty ability that we have in the mind, that it's our friend and it's working for us. That it's not that we're committed to it and it's not committed to us, right? Like in a marriage, right? If someone marries a prostitute, they may be committed to the prostitute, but the prostitute's not committed to them, right? In that monogamous relationship, there's like a value to monogamy, right?
Yeah.
It creates a certain stability.
Just say a cheater. If you're married to a cheater, not a prostitute.
That was my point.
Take that out of the way.
Yeah.
If you're married to a cheater, even if you're committed, they're liars.
They're not committed to you.
Intelligence.
Yeah.
They have polluted intelligence.
And so that monogamous relationship, it's two people saying, I commit to you. Well, I commit to you. Okay. And through that, it creates a stability and that intimacy, that both partners are benefiting from, that it's deepening the commitment to one another so that we can move forward together. But if one person is committed and the other's not, then the committed person is actually suffering because of that. Right. And so if our intellect is not working for us, our reasoning faculty should be making everything clear for us so that we can move forward in a way that's beneficial and that we don't suffer more. But if that intellect, if our own intellect decides it's not going to help us, the soul, right? It has no interest in the experience of the soul and its, its birth after birth of ups and downs in the material world. And it says, I'm just interested in finding the pleasures and the temporary things of this world. And if you follow that, then that's what it's saying here. It's like you lose all your independence.
Yeah. And it's
right?
got nothing to do with your IQ. You can be very, very smart
That's right.
and have a polluted intelligence. You can
Right.
be, you know, very, very smart people are addicted to drugs and thinking, how can I get this, you know, how can I hook up with this girl or this guy and then I'll be happy. It's got nothing to do with being a dum-dum or a dullard or low. I tell it, no, you could be not so, quote, intelligent, but have a deep type of wisdom. This is what we're talking about too.
Okay.
Polluted intelligence just means you are reaching for the wrong thing to make you happy.
There you go. The reasoning that you use to make your decisions, right? That's that buddhi. And so, yeah, you're right. A simpler person may have a really well-refined, well-functioning intellect, you know, because they
Sure.
just know what's good and what's bad, what's healthy, what's unhealthy, and they're and that application in the mind becomes more influential, so that the chooser, which is the manas,
Sure.
it falls in line.
I mean,
you
some
make
of the
good
greatest
decisions.
brains out there now are just using their intelligence to destroy the world. You know,
It's true.
it's got nothing to do with, you know, a
It's the
bigger
flip side, yeah.
picture, a bigger picture of
Okay.
our joy and salvation for mankind. Okay.
So I think we got that, the whole prostitute thing. Like we dealt
Okay,
with
we're out of that. We're just called
Okay.
the cheater. The cheater.
cheater.
So
Okay.
that way you can flip it.
Everyone's
back
like,
to
oh
God.
yeah, because everyone's like, don't say bad things about the prostitute. But cheater, oh yeah, get on the cheater.
Get on
you
the
know, like-
cheater. Well, the thing is, you know, a lot of us don't have any. We don't know much about prostitution, you know, and we don't know. It's not, you know, it's sort of like we yes, we all
We've
know
had
about
shows
cheaters.
we've had
We all know
shows about prostitution. We spoke very well about them.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to be serious now. Let's just keep.
Me too.
When you go off track,
I'm right on track.
okay. Text 16.
Yeah.
Narada Muni had said that there is a river flowing in both directions.
This is really interesting.
The Haryashvas understood the purport of this statement. Material nature functions in two ways, by creation and dissolution. Thus, the river of material nature flows both ways.
Wow.
A living entity who unknowingly falls in this river is submerged in its waves. And since the current is swifter near the banks of the river, he is unable to get out. Is that true? Rivers are swifter by the banks.
Hold on, I'm going to talk about that a bit.
What will be the benefit of performing fruitive activities in that river of Maya?
Okay. Now, first of all, there's two things I want to talk about here, Raghunath. Okay, the general verse itself, and then this thing about the river being faster near the banks.
Okay, go.
So, in general, like let's go back to our nugget with Rabindranath Tagore, and he's given this another way of looking at life. Right? He doesn't say making more money, finding the right love partner, soulmate, you know, achieving this or that material goal is going to bring you happiness. No, he says great calm, generous detachment, selfless love, selfless, right? Disinterested effort. You know, these are what this is. He says these are what make for success in life, right? It's a whole. If we're going to have that kind of clarity, we really have to examine. And a large part of what we have to examine about life is its temporary nature, right? That there's everything that's being created is being destroyed. It sounds like a simple enough thing, but when you deeply witness that, deeply imbibe that, deeply apply that, deeply reflect on that, you begin to understand I should not be invested in things that are created and are destroyed. I need to find something stable to invest in. And that's for that, one has to look towards the spiritual, one has to look within. So that's one thing, right?
Yeah.
You're with that?
Yep.
So the Haryashvas are getting that. They're saying, even though what we're doing is pious and good and religious and so on, it's not purely spiritual. We need to get to that. So that's one thing. But the other thing was this, and this I got from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, when he speaks about this, the riverbank being faster, the river being faster on the bank.
Yeah.
Okay. He says this, Raghunath. He says the river flows quickly near the bank. For those who have fallen into samsara, right, into the into the material world where we're being born and dying again and again, different bodies, different
Repeated circle
cycling.
of birth and death. Yes.
Yeah. Wheel of life and death, you could say.
Wheel of
For those who have
fortune.
fallen into it, that means us, right? We're in this world, and he
Yeah.
says the place to get out. Where do we get out of it? You know, if we're flowing in this river of samsara, we need to get out. That you go to the bank, right?
Yeah.
The place to, so you got to if you're swimming in a river and you're caught in the current, you're trying to get to the bank.
Yeah.
But so what is the bank? He says the place to get out, the bank, refers to two things. He says austerity and knowledge. Austerity and knowledge will help you break out of samsara. So they're like the bank of the river, right? They're part of the river, but they're the bank of the river. They're near the edge. Because once you start thinking, I need to perform austerity, I need to have the knowledge to examine clearly, understand the nature of my situation, you're getting near to the edge of getting out. But why is that flowing faster? He says, but Maya flows quickly there with prominent anger and ego to prevent the person from getting out.
Ooh.
Okay, so in other words, from austerities, although austerities can help you get out, they can also make you an angry person. And although knowledge can help you get out, it can also make you a proud person.
You get a little arrogant. You're so smart. You're smarter than everybody. You're impressing people, and you get caught up in your intelligence.
Very interesting, isn't that?
Yeah.
So sometimes the people that are deep into this Vedic culture, and they may have cultivated austerities, they may have cultivated jnana, knowledge. In one sense, it seems like, oh, they're almost out, but actually they're caught. They may be deeply caught up in ego, or they may have a sense of anger or hardness in them from these practices. Right on the edge can be where it's flowing fastest. The illusion can be really, really powerful in those areas. Something to consider.
Very interesting, Mr. Kastuba.
Mm-hmm.
Aha. Okay, it's 8:54, my friend.
Yeah, text 18 has a great commentary. We could read the whole thing.
Text 16 or 18?
Oh, we just did 16. Okay, so there's 17. So why don't we do 17 and then tomorrow we'll get to 18.
Okay. Narada Muni said there is a house made of 25 elements.
Oh, yeah.
The Haryashvas understood this analogy. The Supreme Lord is the reservoir of the 25 elements, and as the Supreme Being, the conductor of cause and effect, he causes their manifestation. If one engages in temporary fruitive activities, not knowing the Supreme Person, what benefit will he derive?
Himasat karma bir bhavet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the 25, here are the 25 elements. This is the Sankhya way of breaking everything down. We might say the 212 elements of the
Periodic table.
However many it is. It's something similar to that. It's not exactly the same as that.
It's just a different vantage point of looking at breaking down the material elements. Our material scientists do it. We do it very basically in the 7th chapter. It's Bhumir, Apo, Nalo, Vayu, earth, water, fire, air, ether. And then we go into the subtle ones, mind, intelligence, ego. But there's the Gyanis break up down even deeper and deeper and deeper. And that's just one vantage point. It's just like the Chinese calendar as opposed to the Franciscan calendar as opposed to the Indian calendar. There's just different ways to calculate time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so different ways to break down material existence. And so those 25, it's saying Krishna is the Supreme Lord of it all, right? Narada Muni had said that there's a house made of 25 elements. The Haryashvas understood that means God, right? That we're all kind of within his house or his energy. So if we're operating in this world in ignorance of that, then what good will all our temporary works do? All right.
Nada. I think I said Franciscan
calendar.
Nada. I meant Gregorian calendar.
Gregorian.
What
about Greco-Roman?
Greco-Roman, sure. That too. Greco-Roman wrestling. Let's do it.
Let's just start throwing terms out. Anything that might sound intellectual, I'll throw it in there.
You and me wrestling match during the Wisdom of the Sages. We're gonna have a sand pit covered in olive oil. Let's do this.
You see now why? I don't understand why.
The Greeks, the Romans, they bathe in olive oil.
Okay, all I know is we've almost gotten through this show without it completely collapsing. So let's
I was
turn it over to
collapsing
Mara.
during the good mornings to everybody today. I apologize, people.
Yeah.
Forgive me. We've
Yeah,
got
we
some
barely got
serious
through the good
guys
morning.
here. We got some serious guys like Sweet Banjo Mike. He doesn't want any of this stuff around the edges. Forgive me, guys. Forgive
right.
me. Everybody, please.
We
Forgive
love
me
you,
for my
Raghunath.
offenses. Forgive my offenses. Mara, give us something to take away today.
I got some good stuff today.
Okay. What do you got? It's amazing how you get stuff, considering it looks like you're completely checked out just knitting, but you're actually very focused.
I'm
Very
listening.
focused. And
She's
again, that's her fugue state when she's knitting.
Yeah.
Oh, her fugue state.
Yes.
Okay.
God is the new black and has always been black.
That's
I
right.
like that one.
If you understand Krishna, you adore him.
He's
To
adorable.
know him is to love him.
Yes.
He's adorable. Even his thieving is sweet.
I can't believe Raghunath didn't break into song right there, but he didn't. So let's keep moving.
Keep going. Live an exemplary life to give it.
Live an exemplary life.
Oh God, I shouldn't have said anything.
I know. Don't just run with the current. Pause, breathe, and examine.
Baby,
Take a
I was
deep breath.
born to run.
Take a deep breath, Raghunath.
Are we willing to
Oh,
change
I have an
our
idea,
life?
Raghunath. Just for the rest of the, take a deep inhale right now. Take a deep inhale.
And hold your breath. Are you going to
Take a
Have some,
deep inhale. Hold. For the rest of the announcements, just hold that. Okay, Mara, go ahead.
Are we willing to change our life to make the most of it?
Yeah.
Oh, he breathed.
Change your attitude, and that changes everything.
Attitude.
To the degree we are envious of the creator, the world appears as illusion.
Yeah,
Yep. I like that one.
Our intelligence should be serving us.
it should
Yep.
be.
We shouldn't be working for our intelligence. Our intelligence should be serving us.
That's right.
Don't let polluted intelligence drag you around.
Like a cheater.
Like a cheater. It was a Youth of Today song that never made it. Polluted Mind.
Oh. Never made it like onto the record, or
Never made it onto a record. It's a real song. No one knows it.
you should record it and put it out.
I know.
When's the last time you guys did that?
What else?
Like 20 years or something. Be great.
Befriend the Buddhi to move forward in a beneficial way.
Befriend the booty.
There we go.
That doesn't
Oh, you
sound
see?
good on a t-shirt.
There he goes. And
And?
Well, first, I got one more. Zip it up. Our material bodies are not eternal.
zip it up.
Zip it. Stupid does that to me a lot.
Zip it.
Zip.
And
And Miss Mara?
even empresses might be in anxiety.
It might be, and that's a whole nother. I think a whole nother podcast. Not even our podcast. I think you should deal with that separately.
The
Right
problem with being an empress.
You should really interview as many as you can. Do surveys.
You know what's great? You want to hear some great news?
Yeah.
Now, the sheep would always come and sit under that Norwegian spruce tree we have. They'd sit there and we just give them like leftovers. And because of the leftovers grew into spaghetti, we have this massive spaghetti squash growing. Spaghetti squash everywhere.
No kidding.
Mara's been making me the most delicious spaghetti squash meals. Mara,
Wow.
are you cooking for this retreat? Wisdom of the Sages retreat? Oh, she is. Let's get some vegan meatballs out of this woman. Thanks everybody for joining us. Wisdom of the Sages retreat, and guess what? Wisdom of the Sages Italy is up and open for registration. And it's already got a bunch of people that registered because of last year. They had registered in advance because they had a good time. So if you want to join us in Italy, you can check out on the wisdomofthesages.com website. It's a great way to experience Italy and not be in total Maya. Sometimes people go on vacation and they fall in total Maya.
We'll just
are
be
here to help
partially
you.
in Maya.
Just a little bit in Maya. It depends, truthfully. If you want to, I'm sure you can find ways to get into more Maya if you want to. But you don't have. You can also be incredibly Krishna conscious there. That's right. At this great at Villa Vrindavan. It's like being in Vrindavan in northern Italy. Anyway,
Danielle is asking how many spaces are open. It just came out. It just.
how many spaces? One space left, Danielle.
One space
That's it.
left. Okay.
There's one space left, and it's about to go. Someone's writing in right now. Danielle, go for it. Oh my God! I tell you this. All you gotta do is share. You just
So we're at
poke.
6 a.m. tomorrow.
I know. I have such a good sadhana when it's at 8.
Doing your Maha Puja.
Puja, sitting in one place chanting japa. It's good. Do a sauna. I pranayama in the sauna. Feeling great, Prabhu. In a garden. We're having a gardening party at Super Soul.
Yeah.
Trying to keep it small. I wasn't supposed to announce that, but if you want to go, let me know. Gardening satsang. Let's do, but wait till you see the stone wall, my friend.
I'm more interested in the spaghetti squash, to be honest.
I'm gonna get you some spaghetti squash.
I just want to see it growing.
Oh,
Maybe pick
saw
some.
it.
I've never seen any
Growing
spaghetti
right
squash.
outside the guest room.
I saw that one flower, that squash flower right in front of the guest house.
Yeah, that's it. It's taking over.
Oh, get out, really? That's spaghetti squash there, huh? Have you, what if you cook those flowers, Mary, like put them in batter? And,
Oh, and batter. Oh my God, like that Mayapur bossy lady did for me in Atlanta. Woo! Remember that, Greg?